Come
I
on
have to
over
tell you,
here.
I saw a pre pre-screening of Two Broke Girls that airs tonight, right?
Yes.
And I loved it. I think it's like
It's
like
so funny.
You guys are great together.
Thank you.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, okay, Kat, the two of you couldn't be more different, your characters, but the one thing that you guys have in common is that you're both broke.
Yes.
Explain the premise, the concept of this show.
Well, we're both broke at the same time, but for very different reasons. Like Max Black, who is my character, she's always been broke and always just rent, Subway, 2 jobs, does whatever she can to get by. And then Caroline is newly broke.
She's a financial princess who's kind of been dethroned. Her father's in prison. He stole from all of New York, and she loses all of her assets, and she goes to work in this diner in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where none of her Upper East Side friends will see her, and meets Max, and Max totally has to teach her how to waitress, and they end up moving in together and starting a cupcake business.
Wow. And how is it, I'm sure with a show like this where you're so close together, I'm sure they wanted to make sure you two have good chemistry together. So how did it work in the audition process with seeing you two together to see if you were good for the part?
Oh my God, they're adorable.
Kat actually flew out. She was filming a movie in Florida, and she actually flew out for 2 hours from Florida on a Sunday morning to screen test with me, which was so nice of her.
Best thing I've ever done.
It's like
instantly bonded.
It was great. And she, I mean, I was like, really, do we even have to do this? She's perfect. We don't even need to do this.
And so you were already attached to the project, Kat,
I was already
and then got it.
And Beth, when did you find out that you got the part? And what was that like?
I found out they didn't tell us after the screen test that morning, and so we had to wait a couple hours. We were texting back and forth. Like, she was like, have you heard?
I was like, what are you doing? What are they saying?
Wow. So what's it like now for you guys to see your pictures and your faces everywhere on billboards all over the city? That's like amazing.
Everywhere.
How do you guys feel about that? Is it crazy?
It's terrifying to me. Like, I was in traffic coming. I kind of am a little bit of a hermit, and I kind of just go to work and whatever. I'm like Max in that way. But I was driving home from seeing my friend, and I stopped at a light, and I look up, and I see me peering through the trees at myself. It was one of the most terrifying moments I've ever had. You were there, too.
I was.
Now, you guys are just kind of starting out your career. Well, not starting out your careers. You've been child actors, but this is really big. And you're both in your early 20s. Can you relate to the characters being broke girls, before this came your way?
Oh,
Yeah, I can definitely relate. I had some crazy starving actress jobs.
Like?
I worked at a theater, a playhouse, and the clientele was mostly older. And one night, this lady, it was a matinee show, and she, had to use the bathroom and couldn't make it and used it in the seat, but didn't tell anyone. So then in the evening show, someone sat down.
Oh, no.
And the lady was so mad, and she came out and she yelled at me. She was like, touch it! Touch it! And I was like, okay, I'll touch it. And I just touched it, and then I washed my hands. I was like, I can't believe I just did that. It was awful.
That's terrifying. That's got to be one of the worst first job stories I've heard. And I've heard a lot of stories.
It's pretty bad.
That's horrible.
So now your character is so different, or your character is Max. Is your character similar to how you are in real life?
Well, it's interesting because Max is almost like the voice in my head that it's like the stuff you want to say. Like when someone cuts you off, you're like, I'm just going to be zen and cool about it. But you really want to be like, and she's that voice that I've always, like my evil, awesome side that I try not to let out. But it's becoming more of like my personality. I feel like she's making me more free in my life, which is kind of amazing.
Well, Kat Dennings, Beth Behrs, congratulations and best of luck tonight.